What's going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you about the 4 keys to knowing your numbers. The question is, what does it take to build a battle-ready business? What does it take to dial in your marketing, sales, fulfillment, and leadership so that you can go to war in the marketplace and win? My name is Anthony Campo, your host and chief coach at Battle Ready Business. This is the Be Battle Ready podcast, Daily Battle Edition. And on a daily basis, we're going to take a deep dive look at what it takes to win in the marketplace. So sit back, relax, and I'll see you on the other side. All right. So I want to talk to you today about knowing your numbers. So some of the challenges that I see with business owners is actually knowing the numbers, knowing where their actual money goes, right? They're like, I don't know where my money goes. I don't know how much money I'm making. I don't know how much I'm spending. And I feel like I'm working just, I'm not getting paid to do this. And that's a terrible place to be in. And also, the other part to that is not knowing their efforts. Sorry, my bad. The success of their sales and marketing efforts. So, one of my first business coaches drilled this into me by making me do what he called a daily numbers spreadsheet, right? It was a single spreadsheet that had, all the gross numbers, the marketing numbers, the sales numbers, the retention numbers, those key categories. And actually, I showed up to one of our appointments one time, and I wasn't prepared. It was early on in my coaching experience. I really wasn't up to speed about, how this worked and what I was responsible for. It was just, I was young. So, and he said, hey, do you have your daily numbers? And I said, nope. And he said, okay, let's end the call and go back, do your daily numbers, go back and watch the training again, and come back to me. This is about probably 10, 13 years ago, something like that. I believe so. Almost 10 years ago. So, before we got off the call, he told me, hey, remember, Anthony, whatever you can measure, you can manage. And then when I heard him say that, I was like, whoa. So, I hadn't been taught how to do this. So that's why I looked at coaches, books, programs, masterminds to go ahead and learn how to do business, run a business, operate a business, all these different things. Because, I came from literally going to school to play football. That was my only plan in life, was to go to school, play football, and I'll figure it out afterwards. And then, my only jobs I ever had was working in a deli and being a valet. So, needless to say, I didn't have this administrative, experience, right? And I had one semester of accounting, and that was it. So, I didn't have this background. And, walking into my first business, I learned from my mom, which she was a business person, but the way she ran business was, let's just throw something out there and let's see if it sticks. And she's been really good at that. And that's where, I've learned a lot, that you don't need to actually be as planned as you think you need to be, or as some people think you need to be and telling you. So this statement was kind of mind-blowing in a sense. And for me, when I hear something that I think is awesome and that works really well, I go all in. I was like, oh, we're going to track everything. And we're going to do all this other stuff. And it was a great experience. What it really taught me was looking at my numbers and being able to read them, right? When it comes down to your marketing, your sales, those types of numbers, if you get a lead, how many of your leads turn into appointments? How many of your appointments turn into actual customers? And all this, even getting down into how many appointments were booked and how many showed. Because inside of that, if you get, let's say you have 10 appointments booked, but only 2 show, you've got to realize that it wasn't that valuable. The assumption that I would make is that to that potential customer, it wasn't that important. It wasn't that much value that you were providing them, or for them to show up, to take time out of their day. So then you can fix your thing. But back to these numbers, right? Because whatever you can measure, you can manage. And another thing that Coach taught me was, hey, go pass out a few cards a day, right? Back in the day, if I wanted to grow my business or guerrilla market. And, as you've heard me talk in the past about execution score, if you can measure your execution, you can manage your execution and manage your effectiveness of your actual business. So, needless to say, that particular encounter was a big revelation. I still have those spreadsheets, and sometimes I go back to them. We built upon those and making, a year full of that, taking all the daily numbers, combining into month over month, and then also year over year. And it was a very, it's a very interesting to go back, look at the numbers, and go back and relive those experiences and pull lessons out of that. So that's another good thing. But here's 4 keys to knowing your numbers. Okay? Number 1, keep it simple. Don't track too much like this guy, right? I went a little overboard. I get it. I've learned. But yeah, I literally keep it simple. Don't track, don't over track too much, right? Number 2, the key to victory here is use a spreadsheet, shareable like Google spreadsheets. Don't try to go down these rabbit holes of softwares and all this other stuff. Start real simple first, and if you become a coder or whatever that is, and you can make it so simple. But I would have you consider that keeping it simple is a lot more beneficial for you as a small business owner, and as you grow, if you keep things simple, you can grow simply as well. Okay, and your software, your technology won't be a hindrance to that growth. Okay, because whole different topic. So key number 4, pick the really important numbers inside on a macro level where you can look at them day by day, that you can understand what's going on in your business. Okay, what's the gross? What's the net? How many leads did you get? How many new customers? Things like that, right? How many? Just those 5 simple key things. Now, if you have a team, you could get down into some other numbers and things like that, but keep it simple so that you can know, and do it daily. Okay, it has to be done daily. Some people might argue and say, well, that's too much, and that's a waste of time. But there's a key principle that sits on top of this is success swinging singles. Okay, just hitting a simple, just getting on base every day. And, especially if you're an early business owner or you're early in your business, like building that would be a keystone habit of your business. Just like if you would get up and work out every day in your personal life, like, get up and actually hit a single and get on base with your numbers and know where you're at. Okay. And you got to tailor this to your business. So I appreciate you joining me, and I'll see you next time, and happy tracking. This concludes another episode of the Be Battle Ready podcast, Daily Battle Edition. If you're a business owner with 3 to 20 people and you want to build a battle ready business so that you can go to war in the marketplace and win, head over to battlereadybusiness.com/go to get the conversation started. Other than that, I'll see you next time.